Chosen ones, if you keep facing mistreatment, it's a huge gift. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when they start to question why they keep facing mistreatment. Why is it that no matter how kind they are, no matter how much love they pour into the world, they always seem to attract people who take advantage of them, betray them, misunderstand them, or outright try to break them? It feels unfair, it feels exhausting, it feels like a never-ending cycle of pain. But what if I told you that this mistreatment, this hardship, this relentless struggle, it's not a curse, it's a gift, a powerful hidden force designed to shape you into something greater than you ever imagined? You see, the universe does not waste energy on those who are not meant for something bigger. It does not test the ones who are meant to live ordinary lives. It does not refine those who are meant to stay asleep. But you, yes, you, are different. You are being sculpted, burned, and purified by the very fire that you think is destroying you. Every betrayal, every rejection, every painful experience is not happening to you. It is happening for you. It is chiseling away everything that is weak, everything that is false, everything that does not belong to the higher version of yourself that you are becoming.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Think about it. If you were never mistreated, if you never faced hardship, if you never encountered darkness, how would you ever learn to rise above it? How would you ever develop the strength, the wisdom, the resilience that sets you apart from the rest? The truth is, chosen ones are not born, they are forged. And the only way to forge a warrior, a leader, a light bringer is through the fire of adversity. But let's go deeper. Why does mistreatment seem to follow you everywhere? Why do people seem to target you even when you have done nothing to deserve it? The answer is simple. Your light disturbs their darkness. When you are a chosen one, your energy is different. You carry something within you that most people do not understand. An inner knowing, a depth, a presence that is both rare and unsettling to those who live in ignorance. And because of this, you trigger people without even trying. Your existence reminds them of what they are not willing to face within themselves. Your authenticity makes their masks feel suffocating. Your kindness exposes their cruelty. Your strength highlights their weakness. And so, instead of facing their own shadows, they project them onto you. They try to dim your light because it is easier than confronting their own darkness. But here's where most people make a mistake. They take this personally. They start to believe that something is wrong with them, that they are cursed, that they are unworthy of love, of kindness, of respect. And this is the ultimate trap. The moment you start believing the lies that mistreatment whispers into your mind, you begin to shrink. You begin to doubt yourself. You begin to question your own worth. And that is exactly what the darkness wants, to make you forget who you are. So I ask you, are you going to let them win? Are you going to allow the mistreatment to define you? Or are you going to use it as fuel to become even stronger? Because here is the truth. Every time someone mistreats you, they are giving you a gift of clarity, showing you who they really are, a gift of detachment, teaching you to stop seeking validation from the wrong people, a gift of resilience, forcing you to rise even when everything is trying to bring you down. And most importantly, mistreatment is a test to see whether you will allow external forces to break you or whether you will stand firm in your power. A test to see whether you will let the darkness consume you or whether you will shine even brighter in spite of it. a test to see if you truly understand your worth or if you will let the world convince you otherwise. So tell me, what will you do with this gift? Will you see it for what it truly is? Or will you continue to see yourself as a victim, trapped in a cycle that you do not realize you have the power to break? Because the moment you shift your perspective, the moment you stop seeing mistreatment as an attack and start seeing it as a tool for your evolution, everything changes. You stop reacting. You stop internalizing. You stop letting it steal your energy, and instead, you start using it to sharpen yourself, to refine yourself, to elevate yourself to a level where nothing and no one can touch your peace. This is the secret that the strongest, most enlightened souls have always known. Their pain was never meant to destroy them, it was meant to awaken them. And now I ask you, are you ready to wake up? The hidden power of isolation, why being misunderstood is your greatest strength. There comes a point in your journey when the mistreatment you face doesn't just hurt, it isolates you. People begin to drift away, friends betray you, family members misunderstand you. The world, which once felt familiar, now feels distant, cold, unrecognizable. You may start to wonder if something is wrong with you. Why does it seem like no one truly sees you? Why does it feel like you are walking this path alone? But what if I told you that isolation is not a punishment, it is a calling, a sacred initiation into the next level of your purpose? You see, chosen ones are not meant to blend in. They are not meant to move with the crowd, to follow the same patterns, to live a life dictated by the expectations of others. They are meant to lead, to stand out, to carve a path that has never been walked before. And to do that, they must first be separated. If you look at every great soul in history, every enlightened being, every spiritual warrior, you will notice a pattern. They all went through a period of extreme isolation, a time when they were stripped of everything familiar, a time when they were forced to face themselves without distraction, a time when they had no choice but to go inward and discover who they truly were. But here's the thing, most people fear isolation. They see it as loneliness, as rejection, as something to be avoided at all costs. They do everything they can to fill the silence, to keep themselves distracted, to surround themselves with people, even if those people do not truly align with them. But you are different. You are being called to embrace the silence, to sit with yourself, to hear the voice that has been drowned out by the noise of the world for far too long. This is not a curse. This is your moment of transformation, because in isolation something incredible happens. You begin to see clearly, without the opinions, expectations, and judgments of others clouding your mind. You tap into a wisdom that has always been within you. You start to understand who you are, not based on how others see you, but based on your own truth. And once you find that truth, you become untouchable. No amount of mistreatment, rejection, or misunderstanding can shake you, because you are no longer looking outside of yourself for validation. You have found something deeper, an unshakable knowing that you are exactly who you were meant to be. But let's go even deeper. Why do chosen ones often face the most extreme forms of rejection? Why do people seem to turn against them for no reason? The answer is simple. Your energy is disruptive. Not in a negative way, but in a way that forces people to confront things they are not ready to face. Your presence alone is enough to trigger people, not because you are doing anything wrong, but because you are doing something rare. You are being real, and in a world that thrives on illusion, authenticity is a threat. Most people live in a carefully constructed reality, They have built walls around themselves to avoid facing their own wounds, their own fears, their own insecurities. And then you come along, unapologetic, awake, unwilling to conform. You shatter their illusions without even trying, and instead of looking inward, instead of asking themselves why they feel uncomfortable around you, they project their discomfort onto you. They label you as too much, too intense, too different. But what they are really saying is, you make me see parts of myself that I am not ready to face. So, what do? They push you away, they mistreat you, they try to break you down so that you will shrink back into something that makes them feel comfortable. But here is where the true test lies. Will you let them? Will you dim your light just to fit into a world that was never meant for you? Or will you stand in your power, knowing that your isolation is not a sign of weakness, but a preparation for something greater? Because here's the truth. Your isolation is temporary. It is not meant to last forever. It is a season, a sacred phase where you are being refined, strengthened, prepared for the next level of your journey. And when that time comes, when you step into your full power, the very people who rejected you will be the ones who look to you for guidance. The same world that tried to break you will be the one that needs your light the most. So I ask you, will you embrace this season? Will you trust that your isolation is not happening to you, but for you? Or will you resist it, trying to hold on to connections that are no longer meant for you? Because the moment you surrender, the moment you stop fighting against the solitude and start using it to deepen your connection with yourself, everything changes. You will realize that you were never truly alone. You were always being guided, always being protected, always being prepared for something greater than you could have ever imagined. And when that moment comes, when you finally step into the fullness of who you are, you will look back at this time of mistreatment, of rejection, of isolation, and you will not feel bitterness, you will feel gratitude, because you will understand that without it you would not have become the powerful, unshakable force that you were always meant to be. The alchemy of pain, transforming mistreatment into unstoppable power. There is a hidden law in the universe that most people never realize, a law that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the weak from the strong, the lost from the awakened. That law is this: pain is not meant to break you, it is meant to transform you. Every hardship, every betrayal, every moment of mistreatment you have endured was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to refine you, to strip away everything that is not truly you, to forge you into something unshakable. But the problem is that most people resist this process. They hold on to their pain, letting it turn into bitterness, resentment, and self-doubt. They replay the betrayals in their minds, wondering why they were never given the love, respect, or understanding they deserved. And in doing so, they allow the very thing that was meant to empower them to instead imprison them. But you have a choice. You can either let your pain define you, or you can use it as fuel to become something greater than you ever imagined. The universe does not waste pain on those who are not meant for something bigger. If you have faced extreme mistreatment, if you have been misunderstood, if you have been cast out, it is because you were never meant to live an ordinary life. You were meant to transcend. But here's the catch: transcendence does not happen by accident. It happens when you make a conscious decision to stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a warrior. Think about the greatest figures in history, the ones who changed the world, the ones whose names are remembered long after they are gone. They all had something in common. They faced immense hardship. They were betrayed, ridiculed, rejected, and yet, instead of letting that pain destroy them, they used it to fuel their purpose. They understood something that most people never realize. Pain is energy, and energy can either create or destroy depending on how you choose to use it. So the question is, how are you using yours? Are you allowing the mistreatment you have faced to drain you, to make you feel small, to convince you that you are unworthy? Or are you taking that energy and turning it into something unstoppable? Because that is the secret. Every ounce of pain you have ever felt holds power. Power that can sharpen your mind. Power that can fuel your purpose. Power that can make you invincible. But only if you learn how to transmute it. Transmutation is the art of turning something painful into something powerful. It is the ability to take everything that was meant to break you and use it to build the strongest version of yourself. And the first step to transmutation is acceptance. Most people spend their entire lives running from their pain, pretending it does not exist, burying it beneath distractions, addictions, and meaningless pursuits. But pain does not disappear just because you ignore it. It festers, it waits, it grows stronger in the dark, and the only way to free yourself from it is to face it head-on. Look at the mistreatment you have experienced. Do not shy away from it. Do not suppress it. See it for what it is. Acknowledge the hurt, the betrayal, the unfairness of it all, and then, instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Because every painful experience carries a lesson. Some teach you resilience. Some teach you discernment. Some teach you to stop seeking love in places that can never give it to you. But all of them, without exception, are designed to shape you into the highest version of yourself. And once you have accepted your pain, the next step is releasing it. This does not mean forgetting what happened or pretending it did not affect you. It means choosing not to carry the weight of it any longer. It means refusing to let the actions of others dictate your future. It means realizing that forgiveness is not about them, it is about you. It is about setting yourself free from the chains of resentment so that you can move forward without being held back by the past. But here's the most powerful part of transmutation. Once you have accepted and released your pain, you can transform it into purpose. This is what separates those who stay stuck from those who rise. They take their suffering and use it as a catalyst for something greater. They turn their wounds into wisdom, their struggles into strength, their darkness into light, and in doing so, they become unstoppable. So, I ask you, what will you do with your pain? Will you let it weigh you down, or will you use it to rise? Because the truth is, mistreatment is not a sign that you are weak, it is a sign that you are powerful beyond measure. The world does not try to break those who do not have the potential to change it. The fact that you have faced so much resistance is proof that you are meant for something greater. The only question is, are you ready to claim that power? The unshakable force, becoming the one no pain can break. There comes a moment in your journey when you realize that nothing outside of you has the power to break you unless you allow it. The mistreatment, the rejection, the betrayal, the loneliness, these were never meant to weaken you. They were meant to reveal you, to show you the depths of your strength, the boundlessness of your resilience, the unstoppable nature of your spirit. But to reach this realization, you must make a decision to no longer carry the weight of what has been done to you, A decision to stop identifying with the pain and instead identify with the power that it has awakened within you. A decision to become unshakable. True strength is not about avoiding pain, nor is it about pretending that it does not affect you. True strength is about looking directly at everything that was meant to destroy you and saying, "You do not control me." It is about standing in the face of adversity and choosing not to shrink. It is about realizing that every hardship you have endured has been a training ground, preparing you for something far greater than you can currently see. Because the truth is, the universe does not waste energy refining those who are not meant to lead. The reason your life has been filled with trials is because you are being forged into something rare. Someone who cannot be controlled by fear, by pain, by the opinions of others. Someone who moves with purpose, who radiates strength, who carries a presence so powerful that nothing and no one can shake them. But here is the secret most people never understand. Becoming unshakable is not about closing yourself off. It is not about hardening your heart or building walls so high that no one can reach you. That is not strength. That is fear disguised as power. Real strength is about remaining open, remaining loving, remaining compassionate, despite everything you have been through. It is about standing in your truth and refusing to let the world turn you cold. Because the greatest power you possess is not just your ability to endure, it is your ability to remain fully alive, fully present, fully you, no matter how many times you have been hurt. And here is where most people fail the test. They allow their mistreatment to change them in ways that do not serve them. They become bitter. They become distrustful. They build a life rooted in fear, constantly expecting more pain, more betrayal, more disappointment. And in doing so, they unknowingly keep themselves trapped in the very cycle they wish to escape. But you have a choice. You can either allow your past to define you, or you can use it as fuel to become the most powerful version of yourself. The most dangerous person in the world is the one who has nothing left to fear. The one who has faced pain, faced loss, faced rejection, and still chooses to rise. The one who does not seek validation, who does not need approval, who does not rely on external circumstances to determine their worth. This is the person who cannot be controlled, who cannot be manipulated, who cannot be broken. And this is who you are meant to become. But to reach this level, you must release the illusion that you are a victim. Yes, you have been hurt. Yes, people have mistreated you. Yes, life has been unfair. But the moment you allow yourself to remain in that narrative, you surrender your power. You allow the past to dictate your future, and that is not why you are here. You were never meant to stay stuck in the pain. You were meant to transcend it, to use it as a gateway to a higher level of existence, where nothing and no one has the power to take away your peace. So, how do you become unshakable? You stop giving your energy to things that do not serve you. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop seeking love in places that were never capable of giving it to you. You stop holding on to resentment, thinking it will protect you when in reality it is only weighing you down. You stop living for the approval of those who will never see your worth and start living for yourself. And most importantly, you reclaim your power. You wake up every day and remind yourself that you are not here to be defined by your past. You are not here to carry the burdens of what others have done to you. You are here to rise, to expand, to step fully into the force that you were always meant to be. Because once you do that, once you truly embody your power, the world will no longer be able to touch you in the same way. The mistreatment, the rejection, the pain, it will no longer feel like an attack. It will feel like confirmation. Confirmation that you are never meant to fit in. Confirmation that you are always meant to stand apart. Confirmation that you were chosen, not for an easy life, but for a great purpose. And when you reach that place, when you finally break free from the illusions that have kept you small, you will look back at everything you have been through and you will not feel anger, you will not feel regret, you will not feel sorrow. You will feel gratitude, because you will understand that without it, you would not have become who you are today. And who you are today is unstoppable.